Jim Carrey was strangely not seen at the Oscars this year, and it made many people ask why that happened. A man named Alexis Stone once said that he acted as Jim's body double at the César Awards in France. But this brings a big question. What really happened to the real Jim Carrey? The answer might be more shocking than people expected. We have not heard from Jim for a long time, and Katt Williams is now starting to reveal what may have happened. He says there are dark forces working in Hollywood, far worse than we ever believed before, and people are trying hard to understand the full truth.
Are you aware of everything? And the reason why I ask you that is, even though if you know how to appear and disappear, right?
Right.
It seemed like you still hear things and see things, just from the conversation that we had before we sat down.
That's part of the disappearance. Like I'm saying, I'm not disappearing to twiddle my thumbs. I'm disappearing to do the behind the scenes work, the inner work, the shadow work necessary to pull off what it is I'm trying to pull off against, at times, supernatural competition.
Katt Williams is someone who has spoken for a long time about the culture of control and silence in Hollywood, and he has said many times that people who speak against it are either pushed out of the industry or are never seen again. One of those people, as many believe, is Jim Carrey. He has often been seen as someone who speaks the truth, sharing his views with the public about groups like the Illuminati and the lack of realness in Hollywood. Because of this, some believe he faced consequences, including embarrassing moments like being removed from award events back in 2019.
Jim Carrey is nominated for his show Kidding.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey handled it very well. Even though it may have looked like a strange moment to the audience, he simply went along with it as if it was part of the show. Still, moments like that helped create the unusual stories people talk about today. Carrey had already made headlines a few years earlier when he went on stage at the Golden Globe Awards in 2016 and gave one of the most unusual speeches of the night. Instead of making normal polite jokes, he chose to question the whole idea of awards and what they really mean.
Thank you. I am two-time Golden Globe winner Jim Carrey. You know, when I go to sleep at night, I'm not just a guy going to sleep. I'm two-time Golden Globe winner Jim Carrey going to get some well-needed shut-eye.
The audience laughed, including Denzel Washington, who could not hold back his smile. But behind the jokes, Jim Carrey was also sharing a deeper message. He explained that awards may feel very important when you are inside Hollywood, but when you step back and look at the whole universe, they are actually very small. He was questioning why these things matter so much and pointing at a culture that lifts up fake images in Hollywood. And this is not the kind of message the industry always likes to hear. That is why some fans believe what Katt Williams has been saying. When someone starts to question the system too loudly, why do they always seem to disappear? After reaching the top of Hollywood, Carrey began speaking openly about fame and how empty it can feel. In interviews, he explained that identity itself might be an illusion, and that the personality people see on screen is just a character. Some fans believe he simply went through a deep spiritual awakening. He spoke about the influence of Eckhart Tolle and his search for meaning beyond fame. But others think something more serious may have happened. They point out that Carrey started questioning Hollywood itself, making fun of award shows, rejecting the idea of idols, and saying the whole system has no real meaning. This brings the story back to what people connect with Katt Williams. He has often said that when someone in the industry speaks too openly, the system slowly pushes them out. Some say this has happened before to well-known people. One example often mentioned is Corey Feldman, who spent years trying to expose problems in Hollywood but ended up being ignored and pushed aside.
You freeze. You're in shock. I mean, children aren't supposed to handle that sort of stuff. I can tell you that the #1 problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be.
Nobody talks about it.
It's the big secret.
And it's widespread?
Oh, yeah. I was surrounded by them.
For years now, as evidenced on Nightline in 2011, Corey Feldman has been claiming that he and his good friend, the late Corey Haim, were victims of station when they were young actors. Last year, he opened up to our Alex Hudgens.
Why didn't
Kids
you
are
come forward then?
scared. You know, kids don't think I'm gonna go. First of all, for me, the person that was doing it to me the most, you know, well, I mean, I could say that the two people that did it to me were both close friends of mine, or so I thought.
Feldman claims Haim endured more than him. In his book Choreography, he alleges that Haim was raped on the set of the 1986 film Lucas. The following year, 1987, their film The Lost Boys came out.
It was when we were both on the set of Lost Boys that, things were happening to both of us, not from anyone on the set, might I clear that up, but, outside elements.
How did people not know when these are two, or did they know and they just weren't doing anything about it?
I mean, I know he told a lot of people. That's the thing that's so upsetting to me. It's not like it's just me that knows this story.
Other people know.
A lot of people know.
They're still working, they're still out there, and they're some of the richest, most powerful people in this business.
Back in 2013, on The View, Feldman was insistent that perpetrators are still out there, but says he won't name names due to statute of limitation laws in California. He also has another reason that echoes something we've heard regarding Harvey Weinstein.
From what I've seen, every time somebody tries to bring up a public name and they have a lot of money and power and a publicity machine behind them, the person who does the accusing is the one that ends up looking bad.
Elijah Wood, the actor who played Frodo Baggins in The Lord of the Rings, has also supported parts of this story. Interestingly, some people say he has not taken on many major roles in recent years. This has led to one big question in people's minds: why?
In a new interview with the Sunday Times, the former child star alleges that has been a real issue in Hollywood. He tells the publication, quote, "There are a lot of vipers in this industry, people who only have their own interests in mind. What bums me about these situations is that the victims can't speak as loudly as the people in power. That's the tragedy of attempting to reveal what is happening to innocent people. They can be squashed, but their lives have been irreparably damaged." The 35-year-old adds, "If you're innocent, you have very little knowledge of the world and you want to succeed. People with parasitic interests will see you as their prey."
I can get a good career doing this. It's going to be good.
Wood says he was not a victim of a because his mother Deborah protected him and he avoided those kinds of situations. He goes on to allege that even as an adult in the industry, he has been, quote, led down dark paths to realize that these things probably are still happening.
It all seems to point toward a connected system where powerful and wealthy people have so much control that they believe they can do anything, even silence others. Rose McGowan once described the industry in a way that shocked many people. She did not just call it unfair or controlling, she called it a cult. According to McGowan, Hollywood is not just a place where movies are made. It is a system built on unwritten rules that everyone somehow understands. When she first entered the industry as a teenager, she quickly noticed there were expectations about how you should look, act, and even speak. And if you did not follow those rules, opportunities could disappear very fast. She explained that many young actors are quietly taught these rules by agents, managers, and insiders. In her own experience, she was told that her appearance had to meet certain standards if she wanted to get roles. If powerful people in the industry did not find you appealing, she was warned that work could suddenly stop coming her way.
And everyone passed these rules on to female agents. Were big in my life, and they had definitely a hand in telling me the rules that I had to abide by, such as, you have to have long hair so the men in Hollywood want to have sex with you. If they don't want to have sex with you, they're not going to cast you.
As more people started questioning the system, another name kept coming up in the conversation: Dave Chappelle. For years, Chappelle has been seen as one of the bravest voices in comedy. Many fans still remember when he famously walked away from a huge deal with Comedy Central at the peak of Chappelle's show. At the time, the network was said to have offered him around $50 million to continue, but he chose to walk away. Katt Williams believes that Dave made that choice to protect his integrity.
The one comedian that we've been sitting here doing this interview that you hold in very high regard is Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle walked away from $50 million. You said it was more... Tell the story.
That's right.
I'm gonna let you tell it.
No, you're
no, I want you to tell it.
You really are the best. You're proving it here today. As much as I'm proving it, you proving it. You proving it. Yeah, that wasn't the thing. It wasn't, people say that. He lost $50 million. No, that's not even close to what happened to this dude. And until you understand what happened to the dude, you don't understand what happened. Like, no, not they offered him $50 million and he turned it down. Who gonna turn down $50 million? Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no.
That moment turned Dave Chappelle into a legend for many fans. Some people said he had seen things behind the scenes in Hollywood that made him uneasy. Others believe he simply refused to let the industry control him. He faced one of Hollywood's most powerful figures, Oprah Winfrey, and stayed true to his beliefs in a now very famous interview.
I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like, when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, these brothers gotta wear a dress. This happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good. So I walk in the trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in. The writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen, we got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a prostitute. And he put this dress on, and what? No, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it. So, well, if all the greats have done it, it's kind of hacky, right? You're right. So why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress. Oh, come on, Dave, listen, we got it all set up. We're supposed to shoot. Every minute you waste costs this much money. You know, the pressure comes in. He said, I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't need to wear no dress to be funny. What am I, Milton Berle? You know, we're going like this. And then finally he's like, and he leaves. And then, like, the director comes, Dave, it really would be great if you wear the dress. What is wrong? What is this, Brokeback Mountain in here? So then, wear the dress. I don't want to wear the dress. I want to wear this dress. You know what I mean? This is, oh, gosh, this guy's so difficult. They leave. Now the producers comes, come on, David, would be so great. I mean, and then I started thinking about it. All the comics that I've seen, man, you know, strong brothers, why they be putting us in these dresses? But the minute it was clear, I was adamant, I'm not wearing a dress. I'm not wearing the dress. All right, fine. Think of something else. Guy comes back 10 minutes later, the whole new scene. Hot damn, how did you write the scene so fast? You know, it's like, so you gotta...
Either way, his decision only added more fuel to the idea that powerful forces are working behind the scenes in Hollywood. But years later, new criticism began to surface. Singer and industry whistleblower Jill Scott-Wright started asking questions about what she believes is happening now. In several interviews, she said that even people who once challenged the system can eventually be pulled back into it. According to Wright, Dave Chappelle's recent comedy shows seem different from the rebellious voice people once admired. She thinks that Dave may have been compromised, suggesting he either sold out or was forced to protect the elite, possibly because of the huge amounts of money involved.
Stuff that Dave Chappelle is doing right now, for me, it's just, what it sounds like to me is that they took the bullet points of everything that they were trying to push during the trial, and they gave it to you to do this beautiful monologue, trying to make it seem like, yeah, because government is after the black man, and whatever. And I've never really spoken out against Dave Chappelle. Like I said, you know, I had a lot of admiration for him when he turned down the $40 million with Comedy Central once upon a time ago.
I remember that.
Yeah, I guess he changed his mind when they made it $60 million in Netflix. And now, Charlamagne is getting $200 million out of Netflix. He's getting more than the rest of these.
No, for real.
And who's Charlamagne? Wendy Williams' sidekick that he allegedly helped stab her in the back. I mean, and he got a whole child case, G. He's got a whole great case. Like, all these people are weird and sick and got a lot of going on. But everybody's getting rewarded. Isn't that lovely? You're that grand. Everybody's getting paid. I'm sure Joe Budden is losing his mind. That $20 million that he got out of Patreon is looking like change compared to what Charlamagne got going on over there.
You know,
I don't know, maybe running around butt naked in the middle of the night, banging on doors for him. I don't know.
Oh, Now you know, episode 2 of that documentary, it was titled "What Goes Down Must Come Up," and they're referencing what Diddy was saying as far as what goes up must come down, and what comes down must go up. And you're speaking of these other individuals, and yes, they have had some dark days. Are they not
dark days?
Can
you call them dark days if you're able to elude them, never fully, thoroughly be investigated for them, never have to go to court, be tried, or go to jail like everybody else has to when they do crazy stuff?
And perhaps most shocking of all, there seems to be a number of secretive cults in Hollywood, often attended by the industry's most powerful figures. For example, Rihanna's former publicist once said that at some industry gatherings, especially private ones, it was common for attendees to sign non-disclosure agreements and hand over their phones before entering. He explained that this practice created an environment where participants felt safe, believing that nothing happening inside the event could be recorded or leaked. When asked whether he thought the atmosphere at the Manhattan party was just extreme celebrity behavior or something more intentional, he said it felt ritualistic or staged. He pointed to things like coordinated lighting, unusual music, and symbolic imagery as proof, making it clear that, in his view, this really did happen.
When I'm describing the New York incident, that was kind of like the Christmas party, because there was a Christmas party before then at this museum that, once again, you go into this basement of this well-known museum. I can't think of the name.
Not Spaghetti.
No. This old house. It's this old Victorian house, real nice, and everybody's like real, like old school, like elite, like Titanic type thing. But underneath, where they had some different paintings, that was like I felt like a satanic vibe. So we went to that party with a friend. That was really strange, but nothing like the next day or the following day, when you're like right outside. That's the thing that's so wild when you think about this stuff. These aren't in obsolete locations. This is like hiding in plain sight, because you could look out the window and see like you could see like downtown New York, right? Like you're right off Times Square. You could see the action of the city, and that's the thing. And same thing in LA. That was bright during the day, like getting out into a grocery store. So these are very out in the open. I don't know how they exist.
Do you think Freemasons or Freemasonry is linked to any of this kind of underworld?
I just think it's the underworld. I don't know what it is, but it is definitely dark and satanic. It's definitely not godly in any stuff. It's very anti-Christ, right? Because it's anti of what Christianity is, or even anti-Jewish, what they believe in. It's very, very dark.
Jonathan said that a group of women were brought into the room by a staff member, and guests were invited to choose companions for the evening. He noted that the women seemed uncomfortable and did not share personal information when he tried to speak with them. Because of this, Jonathan later wondered if the situation might have involved some kind of exploitation or pressure. However, he admitted that he did not directly witness any crimes and could not confirm the exact circumstances of the women involved.
Girl that sat next to me, it was so once again so awkward. The girls who sat down next to me, I was trying to talk to her like, who are you? What are you doing? Do you have an Instagram? Like looking right. I was like, here's my Instagram. What's your name? She was like, I can't tell you. But she looked at my Instagram, and this whole time, everybody's around the table. They're sniffing, partying.
Yeah.
And I think a couple are getting it on. But this girl I felt so bad for her, and I was trying to talk to her like, what do you do? What's your name? Do you live around here? And she was trying to be as nice as possible. She didn't speak like great English, right? When they get her, anyways, they pull them out like an hour. The woman comes in, the girls get up and leave. And we sat there for maybe 15 more minutes, and then they escorted us out, back up to the grocery store. And during the pandemic, I was like, I thought about that, like, what was that? Where was that? And I would talk to Billy, like, what was that place? He was like, do you want to go back? We can go back. We have to schedule it. I was like, no, what was it? But then I started to think, like, that was definitely a human trafficking thing.
We can't say that word, but human transportation.
Using transportation, yeah, sorry. That's definitely what that was. They'd bring in all these girls, and then they would move them out, like, in and out, like product. I was like, holy crap. That's the only other time I've seen anything with that kind of, like New York and LA, with that kind of experience, you know?
So back up. So you're on your way to this grocery store, and
well, we're having a meeting, and Billy, like I said, his mother is Johnny Depp's sister. He's part of his management team, right? He works with the Hollywood vampires and all his groups, and he wanted to show like everybody like a good time. Once again, I can't say like all the people in the lawsuit and stuff like that because of the lawsuit. He wanted to show them a good time because we're working on this project. Right. And that's where he took us. And it was so strange. At the time, I'm just in shock. But then when I processed it and thought about it.
What is going on? Why do celebrities who speak out seem to disappear? What is happening to them? And who is letting these alleged secret cults in Hollywood control, silence, and manipulate people? These are very important questions that need answers. But what do you really think is happening behind the scenes?